Hi and welcome to the G flow. Let's talk about the glutes today. The glutes, or more affectionately known as the butt, the booty, the bum, the bottom, the peach, the buttocks. You get my drift. So in order to help us work this region effectively and safely, we need to understand some anatomy behind the glutes. The gluteal muscles are made out of three main muscles. The biggest and most superficial is the gluteus maximus, and just underneath that sits the gluteus medius, and under that sits the gluteus minimus. Let me roughly illustrate how they work. The gluteus maximus is responsible for actions such as rising up from a squat, and the forward springing movement of running or jumping. The gluteus medius, on the other hand, is responsible for external rotation of your leg when you bring it behind you. And the gluteus minimus helps to make circular motions with your thigh. Now that you have a better picture and knowledge of how your glutes work, let's begin our practice with an intention to move skillfully and to use our glutes safely and effectively. Let's begin on your hands and knees with your shoulders stacked over your wrists, hips over your knees. Start with a neutral spine and begin cat-cow pose, dropping the belly as you inhale. Exhale, pulling your navel in. Inhale, dropping the belly, opening up the chest. Exhale, draw your belly in. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat pose. Inhaling, softening through the belly. Exhaling, drawing your navel in. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale, exhale, and inhale to neutral spine. Extend your right leg straight back behind you, and as you exhale, externally rotate the leg so that your toes point out and your knee points up, and back to center to neutral, and then externally rotate. And feel the glutes or your gluteus maximus activate as you externally rotate the leg. Again, roll open and close. With a straight leg, roll open and close. And release that right knee, right leg. Switch sides. Extend your left leg back straight behind you. And rotate open that leg, close it back. Turn, externally rotate, and back to center. Externally rotate, back to center. Rotate, center, and rotate, center. Lower your left knee. And next, you bring your right knee towards your chest and roll open and make circular motions in one direction. Visualize the work that your glutes are doing as you do this motion. Circle the other way around, changing directions. Okay, 5 rounds each way. And lower the knee. Second side, left knee towards the belly and roll open the hip in circles. 5 aside, 5 in each direction, and switch. Release that knee and make your way into downward facing dog. Press down through the hands, push your thighs back and reach down through to the heels. Let the heart soften, let the chest open. Releasing and relaxing the head. Take a few deep breaths in downward dog. Look forward and step both legs to the front. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow down. And next inhale, come up, rise, reaching your hands overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Now bring a block. If you don't have one, just imagine having a block in between your thighs. That's fine too. So you want to hug that block. Feel your inner thighs, hug the block without overusing your glutes. So if you overuse your glutes, you notice that your toes will start to spin out. You want to hug that block tightly, reaching up through the hands. Inhale, exhale, bow forward. Inhale, look forward, halfway lift. And exhale, and slowly shuffle your feet back to plank, hugging the block in plank. Lower all the way to the ground. Release your feet, release your toes. Inhale to cobra. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Squeeze the block and imagine that your inner thighs are spinning and trying to send the block back behind you. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, start to small steps, walk forward and back into forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, stand up, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. And inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you can either walk your feet back or hop back to plank. Lower to the ground. Rise to cobra. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, look forward. On your next inhale, you want to either walk your feet forward or bend your knees and hop to the front. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow down, exhale. Rise, inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands back to your heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Either hop back or small steps back, plank, lower all the way or chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hug the block and send the block with those thighs. Send the block back with those thighs. Yeah, look forward. Walk or hop to the front lightly. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow down, exhale. Inhale, stand up, rise, reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Walk back or hop back. Lower halfway, chaturanga or all the way. Cobra or up dog. And downward facing dog. And look forward. Walk or lightly hop to the front. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow down, exhale. And stand up, inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, still with the block in between your thighs. You're going to bend your knees and reach both arms up next to your ears in Utkatasana or chair pose. Continue to hug the block. Squeeze the block with an open chest. Slowly press down through your feet to stand up. And again, send your hips back. Lower into chair. Hug the block. So the feet should be as wide as the block. Okay. You don't want the feet to come together when you have a block in between your thighs. So just the same distance as the thickness of the block. The chair. As you stand up, activate those glutes to rise. Okay, down to chair. Pulse and come up. Sit back in chair. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. Back to chair. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. Chair. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. And chair. Sit back. Pulse. 2, 3. Stand up. Sit back. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. Chair. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. And chair. Sit back and pulse. You should feel the glutes work and start to burn. Release the arms. And remove the block from your thighs. We'll start with our flow. Stand at the top of your mat with your feet hip distance apart. And sit back into chair pose. Couple of breaths here with a broad chest. And inhale, standing back up. Imagine that block in between your thighs. You want to arch back without squeezing your buttocks too much, and bow forward and touch the floor. Halfway lift and shift your weight into your right leg. Extend your left leg back. Support with your hands and getting your chest to lift, and externally rotate your left leg just 3 times. Rotate, hug your right outer hip in as you rotate to find that stability. Now slowly, let's step your left leg back and come up to crescent pose, but with your hands on your hips. Right. Now bend so that the left knee almost touches the floor. And straighten the left leg. Pulse 3 times, slowly, skillfully, like that. Feeling that right glute activate. Now hands down to the mat. Plant your hands. Step your right leg back. Now in plank, you're going to lift your right leg off the floor, one-legged plank. Externally rotate your right leg, turn it back in and lower the leg. Lift, externally rotate, turn back in and drop. One more. Up, rotate, turn back and lower to plank. Come down all the way to the floor. Rise to cobra. Inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Next inhale, extend your right leg up to the ceiling, one-legged dog. And here, externally rotate your right leg with a straight leg. Back to center. Rotate and turn back. One more. Rotate and turn back. Step your right leg forward in between the hands. Come up to crescent pose again with the hands on the hips. Now you're gonna lift that right foot off the floor, just like pushing the floor away with the foot. 1, 2, and 3. Step your left leg forward back to chair pose. And straighten legs. Inhale. And reach back to arch. Exhale. Hands to your heart center. And second side. Bend your knees. Chair pose. Stand up. And reach back to arch. Tone the belly as you reach back. Bow forward, touch the floor. Shift your weight into your left leg this time and extend your right leg back. supporting with both hands. Keep the hips level. Rotate that right hip open externally and rotate back down. Rotate your right leg externally and back to neutral. Again, rotate outwardly and turn back to neutral. Carefully step back and rise to crescent. Hands on the hips. Bend your right leg almost touching, the knee almost touching the floor, and straighten 3 rounds like this, activating the left glute. And hands down to the mat. Step your left leg back to plank. Lift your left leg off the floor, one-legged plank. Externally rotate the leg, turn it back and lower. 3 rounds like that. Up, rotate, turn back and lower. Come down to the ground. Rise to cobra. Downward facing dog. Extend your left leg up to the ceiling. Right, same thing here. You want to keep a straight leg but rotate externally that leg. Turn and back to center. Turn and back to center. And step your left leg forward and come up to crescent pose, hands on the hips. Good. Lift the left foot off the floor. Push your left leg, lift the left foot off the floor. 3 rounds. And step your right leg forward, chair pose, sit back. And press down through the feet, stand up. Arching back. And hands back to your heart center. And second sequence, bend your knees, chair pose. Stay, breathe, stand up, lean back to arch, tone the belly, and bow forward, touch the floor. And halfway lift. Shift your weight into your right leg. Extend your left leg back in space. Supporting with both hands and slowly lift the arms off the floor, the hands off the floor into warrior 3. Bend that standing leg and straighten. 3 rounds like bend. Press down through the floor and straighten. 1 more bend and straighten. Externally rotate the leg, left leg, and turn back center. 3 rounds. And step your left leg back, crescent pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plant your hands and right leg, take it back into one-legged plank. So the right leg is off the floor. Externally rotate the leg, back to neutral. 3 rounds. One-legged chaturanga, lower halfway, one-legged upward facing dog. Keep that right leg lifted and back to one-legged dog. Right leg up. Externally rotate the leg and back to center. Right leg turn outwardly and rotate back center. 1 more round. Right, step your right leg forward in between the hands. Slowly shift your weight into your right leg. Pick your left leg up, warrior 3. And bring your left leg back to the mat. Chair pose. Stand up and release. Right. Second side. Bend your knees, chair pose. Sit back. And stand up. Lean back to arch. And bow forward, touch the floor. Halfway lift. Shift your weight into your left leg. Extend your right leg back. Reach both arms forward. Warrior 3. Bend your left knee. And straighten. Again, bend. In warrior 3 and straighten that left leg. Right leg, keep it straight. Bend the standing leg and straighten. Now externally rotate your right leg and back to center. 3 rounds. Roll open with a straight leg and back to center. Step back. crescent pose. And plant your hands. Extend your left leg back in space. Hover off the floor, one-legged plank. Rotate that left leg and back to center. 3 rounds. Lower, one-legged chaturanga, one-legged upward dog, and one-legged downward facing dog. Rotate left leg out and back in. 3 rounds. Step your left leg forward. Come up to warrior 3, reaching both arms forward and right leg goes back. Step your right leg back to the front, chair pose, sit back. Stand up, inhale, and exhale, release. Let's move to our third sequence. More balancing. One leg balancing. Alright, stand at the top of your mat. Balance on your right leg and bring your left knee up towards the chest, towards the belly. Roll open the hip to the side and roll it back, closing knee forward. Extend your left leg back into warrior 3, reaching both arms to the front. Stay in this warrior 3 position. Bring your left knee towards the belly and rotate the hip out and rotate back in. Extend your left leg back, warrior 3, and step back, warrior 2. And turn your left foot to face the back of the mat. Both knees point out. Bend your knees and let the hips sink. Fingertips just touching the floor and come back up. Knees continue to point out. We do 3 rounds of this. Wide leg squats. Sumo squats. And from here, shift your weight into the right leg. Half moon. Right hand supporting. Lift your left leg up. And bend your left knee towards the belly. And draw a big circle with that left leg. And draw a big circle back to the center. And turn down. Extend your left leg back. Warrior 3. Stand up and bring your left knee towards the chest without releasing that leg. Extend your left leg forward. Now single leg squat. Sit all the way down. With your left leg lifted, don't let that left leg touch the floor. Roll back onto the mat. Bend your left leg. Keep that left foot about 1 inch or 2 off the floor. Coming into bridge, pressing down through that right leg, lifting the hips up. And lift and lower. Lift, left foot is hovering but pressing down through that right leg. Rock forward. You can plant both feet on the mat and step back. Plank. Lower to the ground. Your hands next to your chest. And inhale, you're lifting the legs and chest off the floor and release. Just 3 rounds like this. Lifting and release. And lifting, hands off, legs off, and lower. Rise to cobra. And downward facing dog. Extend your right leg up to the ceiling, bend your knee towards the belly and draw a big circle to the back. 3 rounds like this, rolling open, knee to the chest and switch direction. Circle the other way around. And step your right leg forward. And stand up, bringing your left knee up towards the chest as you stand up slowly and release that left leg. Prepare for your second side. Standing at the top of your mat. Shift your weight into the left leg, bring your right knee up towards the chest And roll open that right hip. And roll it back forward. Extend your right leg back into Warrior 3. Warrior 3, bring your knee towards the belly and draw a big circle. And draw that circle back. Center, extend, right leg back, Warrior 3. Step your right leg back and come into Warrior 2. Left knee points forward. And turn your left foot out, left knee out into a sumo squat. Bend your knees, let the hips sink, let the fingers touch the floor. 3 rounds like this. Bend, fingertips touch, and come back up. 1 more bend, fingertips touch, come back up. Keeping the left leg where it is. Half moon. Right leg up. Keep the chest open. And bend your right knee, bring the right knee towards the belly and draw a big circle to the back. And from the back, draw a big circle back to the front. Look down, turn down. And extend. Right leg back, arms forward. Warrior 3. As you stand up, bring your right knee towards the chest. Extend your right leg forward. Bend the standing leg. And single leg squat all the way down. Roll down onto the mat. And bend your right knee with the right foot just hovering off the floor, coming into a one-legged bridge. So pulse and lift the hips away from the ground, release. Press down through that left leg, lift the hips up and release. One more like that. Lift the hips up and release. Rock forward, sit up. You plant your right foot down, push yourself up, and step back down. Step back to plank. Lower to the ground. Hands next to your chest. Point your feet. Lift the hands and legs. Lower. Chest, hands, legs off. Lower. One more. Chest, hands, legs off. And lower. Cobra. Downward facing dog. And lift your left leg up to the ceiling. And bring your knee towards the belly. Draw a big circle to the back. 3 rounds in one direction. And switch the other way. Circle. Step your left leg forward in between the hands. As you stand up, bring your right knee towards the chest. And lower that right leg. Right, come down onto all fours. And bring your right knee towards the chest and draw a big circle to the back. And from the back, draw a circle back to the front. Circle out, circle in. Circle out, circle in, and place your right shin in front of the left knee. Shift your left knee, left leg back, and come into pigeon pose. And stretching out that right glute. Let the forearms rest on the ground. Left knee forward. Extend your right leg to the front. Left knee points out to the side. Bow forward over that right leg. Bend your right leg and turn so that you're facing the back of your mat. Hands behind you, press down through the feet. Lift the hips up and lower. Pulse up and lower. 5 of these. Lift the hips up and lower. So your feet should be hip distance apart when you're doing this. And turn a full circle back to the front onto all fours. And circle that left hip, left thigh out and back to center. Draw a big circle to the back and center. Circle and bring it back center. And cross your left shin in front of your right knee. Shift the right leg back. Come into pigeon. Stretching out your left glute. And come back onto the hands and bend your right knee. So right knee points out to the side and left leg extend forward. Breath in. As you exhale, bow over your left leg. Come back up and bend your left leg and turn to face the back of your mat. Plant your feet hip distance, hands shoulder distance with your fingers pointing towards the heels. And press down with your arms, your legs, lift the hips up and lower. Pulse up and lower. Squeeze and lift, lower. 5 of these. That's it. Turn a full circle, back to the front. Sit back on the heels. Alright, now you place the block or imagine a block and place that block in between your thighs. Not the narrowest end, but the medium width end. In between your thighs with the elbows close to your torso, fingers pointing up. Squeeze the block and lift the hips up. So your feet and knees should be hip distance apart. Hug the block with the thighs and feel that tailbone lengthening forward. Press down through the back of your skull so your neck should feel relaxed. The chest is open and feel mostly the glutes activating. And you're hugging the block so that you don't overactivate the glutes or the gluteus maximus. Find that fine balance. Stay here for around 10 breaths and then come back down. Rest. So go for pulses. So arms, shoulders, hands in the same position. Lift your hips up and back down. Lift up and down. Okay. You want a quick lift and slowly lower. Quick lift and lower. Pulse up and lower. Try not to let your hips come all the way to the floor. When you lower, just leave a little gap before coming up again. And rest. We'll do one more variation. This time with a double pulse before lowering. Okay. Press down through your feet and lift. Pulse, pulse, and lower. Pulse, pulse, and lower. Keep going. Lift, lift, lower. Lift, lift, lower. And lift, lift, lower. rest. Remove the block. Extend your left leg forward and the right leg up, holding on to the back of the leg with both hands, and pull the leg towards you. And place your left foot on the mat, right ankle on your left thigh, and hug your left shin in. Release. Extend your right leg forward, left leg up, hamstring stretch, pulling the left leg in towards you. Plant your right foot on the mat, left ankle on your right thigh, hug your right shin in. Release. Both legs, happy baby. And stretch both legs out wide. Use your hands to help press down the legs. Place your feet back down and let the knees drop over to your right side. Place your right ankle on your left thigh. And come back. So your feet are wide. Let your knees drop to the left side. Left ankle on your right thigh. Return to center, one by one. Extend your legs. Bring your arms away from the hips. Let your eyes close down. And begin your cooling down. Your effort of letting go of all your efforts. Releasing everything. Surrendering in Shavasana. And stay as long as you need. Namaste, and thank you for practicing with me today.